Say what's happening, this your boy Shout Ello. Right now, you're on Instinct Radio. Let's get it. Shout it.
Obama in me, the hood won't pop, hip-hop wanna see the common in me. And since it's a senseless contradiction, I end up a misfit trying to fit in. This ends when I stand up and see the hands of the standard. Holy is the Lamb, Now we holding you to man up, cause we were made in this image. Start looking at what you came from.
Right after Adam, every atom and anatomies, adamant, adamant, after what Adonai is against. Let me take you back to the dream. Eve never read it, you see the Eve was the seed, but Adam is the one who let her in. Instead of leading, no, we ain't leading, we basically little boys with muscles and a mustache. The femininity, we need a remedy to cause man 100% masculinity.
We the last. Yeah, where the men at? Seems like they all lost. None of them are on the scene, seems like they died off. They extinct, but my dream is the rise of we chasing the prize of the king of the mob boss. But we fell away, now we ungodly. We lose and we really got the blues like Navi. I wanna celebrate the news, it's beside me. Fellas, let's elevate, we through with the live.
They lie, old head said, boy, get your shine on. And if a sucker try to block you, get your nine home. And what I heard you gotta do to be a man now. Stand up for yourself, so I took it in my hands now. And that's the problem, man, we busy trying to solve it. All the while we walking dead. And somebody bring the coffin. Boy, drop peach fuzz, now you think that you a man. Cause you feeling yourself, you need to man up.
Yeah, there's many things man is chasing after. They got some questions, we got some answers. Sex and models and tipping bottles back, a pile of excuses right next to your bottle caps. A roller decks filled with names that you aim to please. Next to the stack of money, building up a heart of greed. Ice on his neck, giving jokers the cold shoulder. You drunk off pride, plus you loving the hangover. You got a whole lot of stuff that won't amount to gain. Life will never make sense because you never made sure.
We got it twisted sick like a fever. Little man live, stack dough, keep on. Man up, get up out of that treehouse, leave them cookies alone. It's time to eat meat now. Trying to show you a new way to live now. No charge, you call it a freestyle. Without Christ, you know what man is. You're born a man's body like Tom Hanks in bed. Yeah. Being a man got nothing to do with age. You could be a boy to the day you lay in your grave. None of us behave like the image of who we're made. Cause we fall in the way, it's better known as the prey. Running from responsibility, really we crave. The easy way out of places that call us to pull our weight. Men ain't born through everyday decisions are made. Responding to the call God's giving up from the game. Yeah. Let the process begin. Separate the boys from the men. It don't matter how you started. Partners about how you end. Jesus is the model. Follow us, we gon' follow him. We the last of a dying breed. It's time that we man up.
God loves you just the way you are. You are beautiful because you were created in love. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You have the seeds of greatness within you. You were born to live a victorious life. You are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. You are worthy of the best things in life.
Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine with the Living Like a Boss Men show, where we discuss business, occupation, service, and significance, giving our men a place to have a barbershop conversation with a purpose.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuned in to the very best. It's yours truly, Jazzy Fizzle, Fizzle, Fizzle. And this is Instinct Radio, man. Tune in, baby. Oh, boy.
Hello, everyone. It's your girl, Regina Sunshine, coming to you from what is always a beautiful day for me here in Atlanta, Georgia, with the Living Like a Boss Men show. We are here every first Monday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. talking about everything that relates to men and men's lives. And if you are a longtime viewer of this show, you know this is like the fewest number of men you've seen us start the show with at this table. But I do want to
recognize the guys that are here. First of all, longtime boss man and friend and family member here at Instinct Radio, Musah Lotallah. Welcome back, Musah.
Hello. Thanks for having me back.
It's good to have you because you were like missing.
Yeah, man, I've been having all kind of conflicts in schedule, missing that. I took a vacation. I should have planned it better. I can't be missing the ball show.
And we missed you because it's like everybody has an integral part to play. And so you not being here, everybody was like, where's Musah?
That's right. That's why I hit you to make sure I was like, yo, I ain't missing this one, right?
Yeah.
I was making sure I was on the schedule. So, that's why I'm happy to be here.
And we have a guest boss co-host. He came here today thinking he was going to be a guest, but we added another word to that guest, co-host. Welcome back, Ric Mathis.
What up? Thanks for having me. Definitely good to be on the show.
I mean, you've been on this side multiple times. Now we have, me and Jack are always working on something, for all you know, by the time you leave here, you be on this side permanently. What you say, Jack Trey? We always cooking up something. Yes. Well, for those who don't know, Ric Mathis is the founder of the film Black Friday. Now, then he did Black Friday, the remix. And we're coming up now with Black Friday 2. And so that's what he came here to talk about. But we could do some other talking between now and then. But I do want to mention the boss guys that aren't here. Big shout out to Akeem Woodard. Akeem texted me. He is over at DJJ doing some work there this morning. They called him at the last minute. I love that brother and his heart, always willing to go where people need him. And if you know Akeem, his heart is for our young people that are incarcerated and for those who are returning home, making sure they don't go back into those situations. So we love you, brother. Keep doing great work. We'll check in with you soon. Also, our boss ambassador, Michael Supreme, is a new father. He had his daughter yesterday. And text me like 4 o'clock in the morning, tell me she was going to labor. I said, that's love right there. People want to keep you in the loop. I really felt loved. I was like, for real? And so as soon as she was born, he sent me pictures, and her name is Dream Rochelle Supreme. Wow. I love that. Dream Supreme. Isn't that awesome? You got to really live up to it. The expectations are high. Right. So shout out to our boss man, Michael Supreme. We love you, brother. And I tell him, enjoy these moments. I wasn't worried about you being here. Even though he texted me first thing this morning, I'm not going to make it. I didn't expect you to make it, baby. Mm-hmm. But I thank you for reaching out. Enjoy this entire experience. And who else am I missing? Nick. Yeah, Nick's in Savannah. Hey, Nick. That's all I got to say. Is that it? Michael Supreme, Akeem, you, Laris. And Laris is doing some hands-on-the-ground work in one of our high schools this morning. So that's a great thing about the boss guys that are here. They're actual workers and servants in our community. And so when they can't be here, we understand because they're somewhere serving, they're somewhere giving back to our community. So that's everybody now, right? All right. I think that's it. Okay, so our guest for today, well, I'll go back. Our topic for today is servant leadership, and that will make even more sense once you begin to meet our guest for today. We had Minister Dorsey Hammond here. I'm so excited about that. I got some questions for Minister Hammond. Ric Mathis was a guest, but now he's a guest co-host. Mr. George Oakman is in the building, and also Gregory Ruffman. So, Ruffman, it's going to be a great show. I can't wait for you guys to meet these guys. We're not going to take a break for announcements like we normally do and go ahead and give them now. So you guys, if you're thinking about what you want to mention, I want to mention, I'm going to narrow it down to 2 things. Regina Sunshine Curvy and Confident Empowerment Week is November the 14th through the 18th here in Atlanta. And I know that's the same weekend as the Black Power Awards, but it does not conflict. Our events happen to be, as I was thinking. I was like, DJ gonna be like, how you having something when I'm having the Black, but it kind of flip-flops. Yeah, the times aren't exactly the same. So it starts on that Tuesday night. It is going to be spoken word on Tuesday. Wednesday is comedy. Thursday is live music. Friday is actually a book signing reception with me and the other women that were part of Chicken Soup for the Soul's Curvy and Confident edition. And then that Saturday, we are having an amazing fashion show and award show. Our keynote speaker is Miss Marissa Alexander from Florida. If you remember, she was involved in the case where she fired a warning shot into the air and went to prison. When she has been released, she's doing good, isn't she, Jack? We already had her here one time, but we wanted her to bring her back and have her really talk about some of the work and some of the legislation that she is helping to change in the state of Florida. We also have our host for that event is Miss Shell Purcell from the Love Line here at Instinct Radio. Yes, Shell is our host. And confirmed performers for the week, we have Tamika Georgie Harper, the queen of spoken word. We have JJ Day. If you saw him at my birthday party, or if you heard about it, everybody heard about some fantastic guitarist at my party. That was him. He's going to be performing. I've got so many calls and so many people who are waiting to hear back. So just keep watching my timeline for more announcements. The biggest one I want to make is we are now taking nominations for our Awesome Girls Award. This is our 3rd annual Awesome Girls. Instead of doing an Awesome Girls show here, we're going to recognize them at our Curvy and Confident Fashion Show and Awards show. So if you have a girl or know a girl ages 5 to 17 that is excelling in whatever her area of gifting is, if that's music, if that's education, if that's sports, if it's entrepreneurship, whatever her area of gifting is, please nominate her by sending her bio and why you think she should be one of our Awesome Girl Award winners to the Regina Sunshine Show at gmail.com. That's the Regina Sunshine Show at gmail.com. This is one of our favorite shows, right, Jack? We do the Young Boss show for the boys, and we've already had their show, but we're going to bring them back for this too and actually recognize them again. Yeah, we're going to bring the boys back. So we're going to bring the boys back to be announced, because we're putting the girls on a big stage. We got to put the boys on a big stage too. So we're bringing all the boys back as well. Where's Noah? You mean yeah, well, Noah's dad keeps up with me. Okay, our first Young Bosses show at the state capitol, we had a 3-year-old named Noah Pitts. You remember, Jack? That could name every president by number. If you just gave a number, he could tell you who it was, not just like their last name, first, middle, and last name. All right, he was amazing. Or if you gave him a president's name, he could tell you what number they were. And then he also could name all the NFL teams, and he blew our minds. At 3. Yes, and so our cutoff age was 5, but Jack sent me the nomination. He was like, we can't do this show without this 3-year-old right here. And so, yeah, Noah's doing great. His dad always sends me update videos and shows me what Noah's learning now. So I think we should bring him back and actually maybe give him a chance to shine on stage and, show people what he does. So those are the things we do. We like to highlight our young people that are doing positive things, because so often the media shows the worst of who we are. So we give our young people a chance to shine. So, yeah, so Young Bosses and the Awesome Girls will be on that stage. I think that's enough. I do have to mention, though, every Tuesday from 12 to 1, the Regina Sunshine Show and the Living Like a Boss Show also airs on People TV, Comcast 24. And tomorrow's show is our Boss Show from last month with Michael Supreme, Laris Hodges, and our guests Willie Mason, Thomas Priester, and Alvin Thomas. So make sure you tune in and support. That's all I got. All right, Musah, you got something?
No, I'm just happy to be back. I'm still working. I got a lot of real estate going on. I got my book still working on. I got some great help. I came up with this idea, and I found the perfect person to fit in, and she just came in, and she made everything nice and smooth. Ain't that right, Regina?
Yeah. Well, he made me a proposition. He sent me a text message, and he said, you know what, how would you like to interview me, and let's transcribe this book? I was like, let's do it.
Yeah, because as adults now, like, we're not kids that we come home from school and there's nothing else to do, right? So to carve out that little piece of quality time, I got 3 kids, business, traffic, to get home and have that peace of mind where you can sit and be creative to write. I was having a difficult time doing it. So I said, there's got to be a different way I can do it. And so I came up with the idea. I said, Regina, let's book 10 weeks straight. Let's book an hour-and-a-half session, just about, and we're going to get this book done. So we're about to have this thing done in 10 weeks.
Yeah, and it was so fun. The time went so fast.
Yeah.
For the first session.
And it was natural, right? And at the same time, sometimes when you sit down and you try to be creative, sometimes you try to think, you're thinking about competition. One person told me the reason why you draw a blank is because you're staring at a blank screen, right, or a blank piece of paper, right? So a little bit of the format of what we did was I outlined everything that I wanted to say, and I shared the document with Regina. So for the people that's interested in writing books, this is a path for you to get your book done in 10 weeks. Because guess what? After this first book is done in 10 weeks, there's another book coming right after that. Because I got so much I want to say. But now I'm getting a format where I can get it done. Because me sitting down and trying to find that quiet time, months was going by with nothing being accumulated.
And me calling you saying, Musah, have you worked on the book? Musah, have you worked on the book?
So now we got it where it's going to be. It's going to be transcribed in 10 weeks, and then some editing and everything else can go forth and publishing after that. But to get the idea and the thoughts out of my head, while I'm not drawing the blank, Regina sat down, real comfortable, questions, and then it's organic, right? So you're getting the thoughts out. Of course, it's scripted because we know what I want to say per each topic. Right, so she's pulling out of you naturally. So not only that, if you guys got a book, Regina got some extra time. Sometime you guys can book her.
Well, I have to thank you because we're always talking about creating multiple streams of income. And as soon as you sent me that text, I called my coach. I was like, Musah wants me to help him write this book. She said, that's called a writing coach. Put that on your list of services, and now you can charge people for that. I said, that's what's up. Thank you.
And I'm sorry, you're not gonna get Regina for the price I got it for.
Nah. We can talk after the show. So I want to thank you, though, because, even though you did it, as a way to help you get it out, you gave me something that I hadn't even thought about. And so now it's a whole other list of services that I'm offering people because of our interaction. So that's how you do it.
A little bit off here is, like I said, you plant those seeds, and you never know who's going to call you. I mean, those seeds going to sprout. So one day you get a call from... You planting thousands of seeds all around. You're going to get some phone calls and say, hey, I need you for this right here. So that's to anybody that's out there trying to go towards a certain lifestyle or a certain dream, you got to plant those seeds because they're going to come back.
Absolutely. Ric Mathis, now we know you got a big announcement.
So, Black Friday Part 2, Friday, October
13th.
The 13th. So that's Friday the 13th in October. So it's an easy day to remember. We're picking up where we left off with the remix. This time we're taking the conversation global. In the remix, we took the DNA test with African ancestry. It was revealed that I'm from the Akan tribe in Ghana. So is Mike on? Okay. All right, cool. So let me take it from the top. Tippity top. So as you all know, we have Black Friday 2 coming up in a couple of weeks, Friday the 13th, October, at Impact Event Center. And if you guys haven't been over there, they got a new Jumbotron LED screen that looks amazing. So the movie will be shown on that. It's going to be ridiculous. But Black Friday Part 2 picks up where the remix left off. In the remix, we partnered with African Ancestry, and I took my DNA test. It was revealed that I'm from the Akan tribe in Ghana, West Africa. So where does the film start? The film starts in Ghana, West Africa, with a drone shot of Cape Coast. And we are traveling through Cape Coast, and, they're talking about how this transatlantic slave trade actually gave birth to capitalism in America. So a lot of our ancestors who were enslaved were actually transported from there to Wall Street, which a lot of people don't talk about, a lot of people don't know, but we were the first stock, the first commodity actually sold on Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? As black people, it was us. So that's what we talk about in the film, man. And, we got 7 great principles that give you marching orders to actually apply immediately after watching the film. And, of course, we have an amazing cast. We got your boy David Banner. He came back this time.
So is he going to be there on the 13th?
It's still up in the air.
Okay.
It's still up in the air. He said he going to let me know.
Okay.
Because he got a lot going on. He got a lot of great opportunities that's coming up, too. So we'll be working together on some stuff, too. But he got a lot of great opportunities. Like, he's really stepping into that activist role. We were together last week, and that's what he was telling me. But we got Boyce Watkins in there, Les Brown. Who else? Warren Ballantyne. He's been taking a break for a while, but he's in the film too. So we got a lot of great people, man. And we have an 11-year-old, speaking of young kids, Kennedy Stewart, who actually narrates the film. And when you see her, she is amazing.
I've seen the clips of her, and she is.
She
blows your mind
is amazing, yeah. So, she talk about the Moors, she talk about the Egyptians, you know what I'm saying? And she can come here on the show and have a grown woman conversation.
I would love to have her on.
At age 11.
I would love to have her
on. We were just, touching up some of the voiceovers last night, but she, she's homeschooled and she has school during this time, so it's kind of difficult unless there's a holiday we can bring on the show, though. So we'll have to plan that properly, but yeah, definitely.
We got your phone
Yeah, that's
Well,
my
I
phone
need
now.
you to nominate
So-
her for the Awesome Girl Show. Just
Okay,
on a
I
side
definitely
note.
will.
Okay.
I definitely will. So, so that's what we're working on. October, Friday the 13th, Black Friday Part 2. And when I tell y'all it is going to be intriguing, because right now where we are, I think we're at a more crucial point now with getting our money right than we were back in, when the Emancipation Proclamation during the early 1900s. I think it's more crucial now that we get our money right than it was back then. And the reason why is because we're in a whole different age. Back then we were in the industrial age. In the industrial age, they needed our work labor. They needed our workforce to turn that into revenue for them. Now being in the technology age, they no longer need our manual work labor because they have technology to do what we were doing back then. So now if you're not making yourself valuable, then they're making you valuable with the prison industrial complex. So that's how they're making money off of us being here. Because really at this point, America says, guess what? We don't really need you now for this this economy, for the capitalistic society that we're living in. That's what the thing is. That's what this whole thing is about with Trump and all of that. It's like, look, we don't need y'all now. Y'all have built America. Y'all have given us what we need. We really don't need y'all right now. So that's their mindset. But at the end of the day, I don't know if y'all saw the video where the young lady had the bag, the Facebook video where she was saying that, somebody told her, if you don't like America, then leave. She said, okay, I'll leave. And she put a bag on. You saw that, Jack? She put a bag on her bed. She said, okay, if I leave, I'm taking everything that we brought to America with us. She was like, okay, we got to take the car because we invented the car. We got to take the cotton gin because we invented that. And by the way, give me that peanut butter and jelly sandwich because so-and-so invented that. She was putting everything in her bag that we bought to America.
We need that, Jack.
So at the end of the day, we bought these things to America. At the end of the day, we're the real value in America. We are the trendsetters. When you travel the world, in Black Friday, we traveled to 6 different countries. When you travel the world, you see the value that we have. Everybody is looking to us to lead. You know what I'm saying? We traveled to Spain, and we saw people standing in line literally for 4 hours to see the Black Madonna.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They literally stand in line 4 hours to see the Black Madonna. They pray to the Black Madonna. They worship the Black Madonna. It's the black woman. It's us. You know what I'm saying? So once we understand our value and know who we are, then we'll understand that we not only influence America, we influence the world, and people look to us. And that's what Black Friday Part 2 is about. In the film, we talk about identity theft. Our identity has been stolen. We've been disconnected from our land, our language, and our legacy. But now it's time that we reconnect with that because we're in a whole different age, a whole different time right now. I don't know about y'all, but to me, time is speeding up. Like these days and these months are going by super fast. You know what I'm saying? So what does that mean? That means that the frequency of time, of things, is moving faster. So if you're not vibrating on a higher frequency, a faster frequency, you're going to get left behind. Period.
You're absolutely right. I actually told my son, I said, even the time for sowing and reaping is sped up. Because it used to be a time you had to, believe for something and wait. And it's like,
It's happening just
I
like
say,
that.
and stuff is happening. And I'll say stuff, and then the next day it'll happen. Like I told my son, I said, you know what? We really need a new big TV for the living room. And the next day, someone sat one outside at a trash dump.
What?
I kid you not. I don't know how.
Wow.
And he was like, I know it don't work. I should just leave it there. He brought, it works. It's perfectly
What?
fine. He said, what else we need, Mom? I need you to say it right now. He said, because you keep saying stuff and stuff just keeps showing up, just dropping out the sky.
But
So,
but see,
it's
that's
happening.
the thing. Here's the thing. We've been tricked into thinking that it's the man that builds nations. Women build nations. Women are the ones that manifest things. That's why they're called Mother Earth. Because y'all control the matter, the physical. That's why y'all nourish. Because that's y'all nature to bring things into existence. Hence the baby being born, being brought into existence. Y'all create the nations. We just protect and serve.
Well, I'll be taking lists at the end because I'm not playing. And when I began to speak that things were going to be, debts were going to be written off, I got a phone call from Capital One. It was a business credit card. My sister and I had $15,000 to start our second business because we couldn't get a business loan. We were like, whatever, we're going to do this. And he got called. He was like, there's an error in the system. Somehow your account has been marked paid in full. But we know it's not paid in full. He said, I just had to ask you, do you want to pay it? No. I said, send me that letter that say paid in full. And so they sent us the letter,
And it was paid in full.
Wow.
My son again said, "What else? What else you want?" He said, "I need you to start just saying what you want."
Wow.
So
Speak it.
it's happening. It's happening.
You know, this may be a little off topic, but just showing the powerful women and how sometimes we've been taught in the wrong way. I just, on the way here, somebody sent me a video, and it was the rapper Papoose. And if you don't know who he is, he's married to Remy Ma. So in the song, he says, my older OGs or my older men in my neighborhood taught me that women wasn't anything, right? He didn't use those words, but he said women wasn't anything. He said, you get locked up, you go to jail. These women ain't not going to have your back. He said, when I went to jail, when I went to the visitor room, it was a bunch of women there. So if you know who he's married to Remy Ma, who did 8 years. He said, I went to go and visit my wife. It wasn't a man there in the visitor room. He said, these guys taught me wrong, right? And just to come to that acknowledgement, he said, no, he said the women are the ones that's power. You know what I'm saying? So just to you know, while you were speaking, that rhyme just stuck out of my head because I mean, some of us, especially a lot of young men, we being taught wrong from the beginning. Then we got to get up in age and try to reverse all of that. We got to do a whole bunch of unlearning. So for the young people that's listening, we're trying to give you the knowledge now, so you don't have to unlearn anything.
Put you up on game right now, baby.
Exactly.
Well, there's two things I want to say. Number one, the reason that my team and I got the David Banner interview this summer was Ric Mathis. We are standing in the crowd, and Jasmine don't know us from nobody, and Ric Mathis goes over and whispers in her ears, and next thing I know, David Banner is being directed in our direction. So I just got to thank you, brother, for doing that for us, because we could have been there going forever. Can we have him a minute? And we never would have got that interview. But all you had to do, I'm telling you, Jay, he went over there. And, okay. It was just like that.
That's my family, baby.
Yeah.
You got to show love. You got to give back, man. See, at the end of the day, we got to learn how to help each other. We all we got, baby. If we don't help each other, who going to help us?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I wanted to say thank you for that. And also that the Boss Men will be there August the 13th covering the event. I said August, I'm sorry. October the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Yes.
October.
Friday, October 13th. Laris is going to be there. Moose is going to be there. Michael
No doubt,
Supreme.
man. Y'all
so we're going to be out
for
there.
a treat, man.
We're excited. What you say, Jack? You going to try your best? Yes, and we're going to bring out a couple other Instinct Radio hosts as well. So we're going to make sure we show up for you and show out. And I think that's it. Is that it? Is that all thing I want to say? Oh, yeah, I did think it was cool, though, when you went to Ghana, that Kaepernick was there at the same time.
I know. I was trying to catch. He was at the slave. He was at the same slave dungeon that we shot at. He was there the day after, because we were there Sunday. He was there Monday. And somebody hit me on Facebook. Like, Kaepernick over there, too. I was like, what? Man,
and I started posting. I was like, anybody can got this connection? Because I was trying to make sure you got connected while you were there.
Man, I had so many people trying to connect with it. And it didn't happen. But, you know, it was cool, though. That just show you how things are aligned.
Yes. Well, we thank you for being here and for, jumping across.
Definitely.
And being back here with us. We always go to the first break talking about something we're thankful for. And I'm going to start off. I'm thankful for my boss guys and this new organization we formed called the Boss Builders Academy. And if you don't know, it's an organization of men and women who are using their gift to go into schools and other organizations to share the truth of their life experiences in a way that will enrich our young people's lives so they make better decisions. Like Musah Lotallah, he came to Mays High School for me this summer. You came to Mays High School for me this summer. And so after we did that, I looked at the guys that we brought in. I was like, we should really form a team and really begin to do this, go together into the schools. And so we officially formed that team. And I want to say thank you to these guys because I didn't tell them what I wanted to do. All I said is I wanted to do something. And every one of them, they didn't ask me any questions. They were like, I'm with you. I got your back, whatever you want to do. So I want to say thank you to these guys who love me and trust me with their careers and their futures. And whatever I say I want to do, they don't even ask any questions. We down with you. So thank you guys.
You're not used to that.
I am used to that.
Y'all do rock with me. You do, but it's amazing. But you know, other people have begun to notice. Because you remember Melissa McMillan? Y'all met Melissa. When, after you guys left, she said, these guys really got your back. She said, all you did was make a phone call, and Ric Mathis showed up in the building. She said, you made a phone call, and Professor Griff was ready to come. She said, how in the world? And I told her, I said, because when you love people, and you're genuinely there for people, then people will show up when you need them. And I was just thankful that you guys showed up when I needed you. So thank you.
Hey, no doubt. That's what we do, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
So something you're thankful for, Musah?
Go ahead, Musah.
I'm always thankful for every day I wake up, man. Let me just say I'm thankful for opportunities. It's a lot of opportunities that's coming up. Besides Regina always helping me out and calling me whenever she needs some help and anything. Like she said, we don't tell her no for anything. There's some other opportunities that I was kind of resistant to, but they're kind of working out in my favor. And I want to be thankful for some more patience, because I had to learn patience. Like my aggression or my ambition almost put me in some of the worst places I could be in this world, because I was so ready to live relatively quickly in my younger years. So now I've built up some patience. So we was talking about planting seeds earlier. I like to plant seeds and just let it water and know, and I'm gonna come back in a couple of months and they're gonna grow. So opportunity, patience, loyalty to the team that I have, just some good qualities that I probably picked up over the years. So I'm thankful for that.
Awesome.
No doubt. So I am thankful that I am off probation.
For real, for real?
Have you ever done a creative project where you felt like you was on lockdown? That's how Black Friday 2 was. I was literally spending 12 to 18 hours a day on this project. So I was on probation.
You know what?
Because go ahead. What you gonna say, Musah?
I mean, you saying something exactly what you piggybacking off what I just said.
Yeah.
So I was saying basically I just closed the deal that took almost 3 years.
Wow. Congratulations. So
when you say you feel like you're on probation, believe me, I know the feeling.
Because like everything in Black Friday 2 is like brand new, right? So we did the remix where we shot some other scenes and we added it to the first one. But with this one, we had like 8 months to shoot everything. Probably less than that. Probably like 6 months to shoot everything. In the month of June, we were in 4 countries. We were in Ghana, we were in Spain, Mexico, and the Dominican. We were in 4 different countries. So it was like, boom, like everything was boom, 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 like back to back. But actually going through all of that footage, you have over 200 hours worth of footage, going through that footage and finding sound bites of information, because I edit in what I call soundbite mode. I hate documentaries that I watch where it's just one person talking for like 3, 4, 5 minutes. And you're like, okay, come on, man. I can get up, I can go to the restroom and come back. And he's still talking about the same thing. So my strategy is different. I edit in what I call soundbite mode. Every 10 to 8 seconds, literally, you're seeing a different soundbite of information, but it tells a story. So when you edit like that, it's more tedious and it's more intense. You know what I'm saying? It's a better product. So now you're glued to the film like this, because if you look away for 5 seconds or you start talking, you'd have missed something. You know what I'm saying? So you literally have to watch the film multiple times, and you have to lock into the film. So that's what I'm thankful for. You know what I'm saying? That it's over. The baby has been born, and we are here. And I'm ready to present, you know what I'm saying, this newborn to y'all, to the world, man. And I think, with the time that we're in, man, and with the film having a racial undertone, one of the questions that we ask, is it racist to put your race first?
No.
Is it? You know what I'm saying? Another question we ask is, was America built for all races to succeed? And right now, with the stuff that's going on with race and with Trump and with Kaepernick and all of this, it's like perfect timing. In media, you have to be at the pulse of the people. So with this is bigger than me, because I couldn't predict all of the pieces that were going to fall in place to be at this time to produce this type of film. So,
divine appointments.
Yeah,
Jackie, you over there
it's
rearranging
like,
your
wow.
schedule, aren't you?
Yeah.
I know you rearranging. You got to be there, right?
Wow.
Awesome. Well, I thank you guys for being here. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to introduce, I guess, our first official guest. And I guess Jack found the clip that you were talking about on
Which one?
Facebook.
Oh, yeah, that's it right there.
All right, so we're going to go to this clip. You're live with Regina Sunshine and the
Jack,
Boss Man
point,
here
boy.
on the Living Like a Boss
You're
show.
on point. This is hilarious.
The very best is yours truly, Jazzy Fizzle, Fizzle, Fizzle. And this is Instinct Radio, man. Tune in, baby. Oh, boy.
Y'all see me? Give me just a minute. Let me turn just a little bit more light on. You know, just a little while ago, I made a post. And I was just trying to get some people to understand why, you know, all of us aren't as excited and as enthused about the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance as other people. I simply wrote an appeal just to get people to understand some of our points of view. Why some of us may feel that the Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem does not reflect the total history of all of the people who built this country. And then this lady came on my post and said if I didn't like it here, I need to leave. Well, I got this bag here. And then I started thinking, me and my people built this damn country. And I ain't going no damn where. Because you don't really want me to leave, lady. Because if I left this country, you'd be having a whole lot of problems. Do you know just what this place would be like if my people was able to back then to just pack up and leave? You don't really want us to leave. Because if we left, we'd have to put all the agriculture in this country in this bag. Because we cleared these lands. We plowed these fields. We planted and harvested these crops. We tended to these farms and all this land and made agriculture be what it is. I got to pack all your clothes in this bag, lady, if I leave. Because if I leave, anything made out of cotton gonna have to go with me. And then I'm gonna have to put all the bakeries and all the restaurants in this bag. Because without us clearing the sugarcane fields, there would be no sugar, no cookies, no cakes, no soda pop, no nothing that was made with sugar. Flour, wheat, corn, nothing. Let me put that in the bag. And then, lady, what? No cigars, no cigarettes, no tobacco, no snuff, no nothing, because we cleared all that tobacco fields. We planted the tobacco. We treated the tobacco leaves. So what you gonna do? Matter of fact, ma'am, let me put all this whiskey in this bag and take it with us, because don't you know it was a black man who created the recipe for Jack Daniel's whiskey? Let me put that in the bag. Oh my goodness. If I leave, tomorrow when you get ready to leave your house and go to work, it's going to be all kind of accidents on the highway because a black man named Gary Morgan invented the traffic light. Let me put that over in the bag before I go. And once y'all get through having all those accidents and get scared and have a heart attack, you're going to have to die, because I'm going to have to put open heart surgery in this bag, because it was a black man who invented or who first performed the first open heart surgery in this country. William Daniel Hale. And that was Gary Morgan that invented the traffic light. And you know what? A whole lot of y'all will be ugly, because it was a black woman, Madam C.J. Walker, that had the real first successful beauty business and hair business that you all copied and built your models off of. I'm going to have to put all that in the bag. Then your clothes going to be wrinkled in the morning because a black woman invented the ironing board. I'm going to have to put that in my bag before I go. And you know what else, lady? You're going to be barefoot as hell when you leave out your house in the morning, because let me put them shoes in this bag you got on, because a black man built a machine that put the soles on the shoes. And going back to that cotton, you don't really think that Eli Whitney was the one that invented the cotton gin, did you? That was the black man. And then, you know what? I'm sorry. you ain't gonna have no car wreck. Because although Henry Ford was the first man to manufacture the automobile, he did not create the automobile. The automobile was actually invented by a black man. And as soon as I make sure I'm not giving you the wrong name, I'm going to post all of that. So don't worry about having no car accident in the morning, because if I leave, baby, the car's going with me. The traffic light going with me. And if you have a wreck tomorrow and you get to the hospital and you losing too much blood, Dr. Drew was the man, a black man, who is the reason why you can get a blood transfusion, because he separated the blood from the plasma. Let me go and put that in the bag.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuning into the very best. It's yours truly, Jazzy Fizzle, Fizzle, Fizzle. And this is In-State Radio, man. Tune in, baby. Oh, boy.
All right, you guys, you're back live on the air. Regina Sunshine and the Boss Men here on the Living Like a Boss show. Thank you for mentioning that, Rick. If you want to see the rest of that video, we are going to share it in the feed from the show today. She was putting them on game for real. I love that. I'm so glad that you shared that. And it falls so in line with where we're going next as we start talking about entrepreneurship. Welcome to the show. Our first official guest of the day, Gregory Ruffman. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's so good to have you here. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
You nervous?
Kinda.
I can tell. It's all right. We family here. Well, I like to mention how I met someone. I was speaking at a mixer that Keisha Rivers was having, that she does periodically, right, Jack? Like every couple months. And you were in the crowd. And when she did the speed networking portion, you got up and talked about an event I'd never heard anybody do here before. And I had to meet you because anytime someone's doing something innovative and definitely is going to benefit the community, we need to get the word out. So real quick, tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Gregory Ruffman. I am the founder and CEO of the HIRM program, and we focus on entrepreneurship in low-income communities. So what we do is we have summits and giveaways. So rather than just giving out, because we're a nonprofit organization, we actually educate them before we give out different things. So we did 6 events already. We started last year on April 23rd, all the way up to now. So what we basically do is we team up with Invest Atlanta, London Sabor, the SCORE program, different other entrepreneurs that's in the community, and we have them to come out and do sections on how to become an entrepreneur, how to become self-awakened, how to come off the system, how to, basically practice entrepreneurship so you can come out the system based about economic freedom. After that, we do a giveaway. We give out laptops, different things, professional attire, different things like that. But they have to attend a summit event to, be educated, be a part of our event, different things like that. So the organization just surrounds entrepreneurship about bringing, rather than them going paying for different things or know how, we go to them. We set up these events in different recreation centers in Atlanta, and we just, go out there and do our thing, promote entrepreneurship, self-awakening, economic freedom. We just do our thing.
Well, I love it because anytime people hear giveaways, you think back to school giveaways. I've never heard anybody have an event where they give away tools and things that a person may need in their business life. So you're going to show up, you're going to share information, first of all, but then here, you need laptops, you need a suit. So where did you get that idea from?
I started the organization about 2010, but I didn't want to just give out, because where I come from, we have our own everything. Community, over 400,000 acre land, truck stops, hotel. So we never was like giving. We worked for everything.
Where's that?
Yeah.
Where you from?
Alabama, Utah, Alabama. We was like the only, it was a church organization, but it wasn't just a church organization. It was a way of lifestyle. Like literally we have our own everything. So when you go there, you don't really socialize with the outside world. Most people call it a cult. But the great thing about it is, to me, is we learned to do for ourselves. We don't go asking for things. We create our own way. So even though I had a nonprofit organization, I didn't want to be the typical one, just help, give a handout, and I'm not educating you. So once I left and moved to Atlanta, I see what, it's a lot of shelters here and different things like that. But, I raised the question of, like, different shelter was the answer. We won't have to build more. But it seemed like it's more shelter, it's more program where they just giving out food, and they really not educating them, saying, work for yourself, do for self. Like, we depend on someone to do everything, feed us, grocery store, clothe us, store. We don't do anything for ourselves. So if they decide to take all these things away, what do we really have? So that's where that's the whole thing built around. It's like, we have to do something for ourselves. We have to feed ourselves. We have to clothe ourselves. We shouldn't have to depend on people that we know that's our enemy to feed us. Because if they decided they want to put something in our food and kill us all off, we're not growing our own food. We're not clothing ourselves. We're not feeding ourselves. You lose your job today, after 1 or 2 checks, you basically homeless. So why do we give people that power? So where I come from, it's not just it's like in me. So it's something I just naturally do, because like where I come from, we have all that. We don't function like go get a 9 to 5. We don't do that. That's like absurd to us.
Well, you've piqued his curiosity.
Yeah, that's Black Friday. Yeah. Hey, man, I salute you on that, man. I commend you on that. And we start thinking about, more of us start thinking about that, then, you know what I'm saying, that's an awesome thing, man. Because think about this. When we was in Ghana, one of the things he said, we don't even make our own underwear. You know what I'm saying? We're dependent on someone to make our own underwear, our clothes, you know what I'm saying, to feed us. If something happened at the grocery store tomorrow, how many people would be able to survive after 3 or 5 days? Well, you couldn't go to the grocery store, you couldn't go to a restaurant.
Right.
Do you have your own garden in the backyard? And these are things, that we got to ask ourselves, because you never know. With things happening in the world the way they are now, you never know what may happen. Right. And you may just simply need a glass of water to survive.
Exactly. Look at Puerto Rico right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And with HIRM, man, they causing these hurricanes and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot going on, man. It's a lot going on.
So when you say you guys had your own everything, is it because you guys was forced to? Because Alabama got a little history to it, right? So I can see where it's like, okay, you don't want to help us, we want to help ourselves, which is really a good thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I want to kind of find out, how did it start and how did it, progress?
It started, like I say, it's a church organization, about 50-year-old. They really were from Detroit, Michigan. The guy that's founded. No, we wasn't forced to do it. I grew up in it. My mother grew up in it, so it's like 4th generation now. So it was all we knew. So they just came together, and the guy just had if you go in the Bible, where they talk about all things coming, he just actually brought that to the now. Well, all things coming, meaning that if you have, I have. So meaning that even though we had our own business, we put everything in one pot. So nobody went without. That's a community. So by practicing that, we always had more. It wasn't like you had your own vision here, I had my own vision there. We had one come and go. The come and go, everybody eat. So if you get some, you put in the pot. If I get some, I put it in the pot. And that's how really we got the success that we got. They had, got success they got because they practiced all things coming, which is based upon the Bible. So he just, brought that into that.
How do you measure success in something like that? You said success.
I would say definitely the fact that it was able to stand within 4 generations, meaning that even though, times, I wouldn't say necessarily got hard because we not necessarily went without. We did have a lot of scrutiny because of the religion side of it, but I would say the success was more on the business economic side, meaning that you didn't go without. The fact that my grandma was in it, my mother was in it, and I was in it, and if we never went without economically wise, we might never grew everything when it come down to religion views, but the fact that we business economically wise, we was, very successful, and it's still going. So that's the measure of success when it come down to that, as well as that. One reason why I would say a lot of the children now leaving, but that's not necessarily because of the economic side, that's because of the religion view side. Meaning because, like I said, most people identify as a cult because, you have to dress somewhere, you have to do certain things. You don't really associate with the outside world, to be honest. But on that note, it's not as successful because the simple fact of it is, even though you're growing something, if you don't have people to take it over, it's like, why are you doing it?
Yeah. Well, I see what I call the grocery store method here. You see a situation and you take the things that's working and you use that. I mean, in terms of what you guys did economically, in terms of supporting yourself, that is a model that could
Right.
be taken
That's
and
a co-op.
duplicated. Yes.
Yeah, that's a co-op, man.
Exactly, and that's what I took with it. Like I knew a lot of things wasn't right religion, but economically they have the plan. They have the plan for black people to get out because, like literally, this has been going on about 60 years now, and it's still going. One thing work, all things come and work. You don't have to agree with it, but it works if we all come together. We got to come and go, and we put it in that pot. I can guarantee you won't go without.
That's right.
So you got an event coming up in December, right?
December
Tell us
the-
about the December event.
December the 9th, I team up with, like I said, Invest Atlanta. They a group out here in Atlanta. What they do is not just black people, but they do focus more on low income people that start a business, and they kind of they literally give you the step on how to get the money. They just ain't just talking. They literally show you how to get the money to start your own business. So he's going to be there. Different people that want to start their business or just start their business, they want their money, that loan, that whatever, they going to try to do that. We broke it down into three parts. We focus on the first is the youth, the second part the college student, and the third part will be for people that's adults starting their business or want to start. And we're gonna have different speakers speaking to every class about just inspire you to do your own thing, as far as if you want to start a business, if you want to, even if you still want to stay on that job, know how to renegotiate or get something, put yourself in a better situation, because it's just not about economics. It's also about self-awakening, because if you're not self-awakening, meaning that know who you are, then you can't really have the discussion when it comes down to economics. So it's not just about that. We also teach you about what he was saying about where you come from, your position in America, why they did what they did. And we basically, it's not I wouldn't say necessarily an anti-white event, but at the same time, you have to be truthful and you have to have the conversation.
Yes,
so it's about self-awakenings as well. So we have different people that's going to be speaking on that.
If you need some speakers, you already know I was talking about you. This dude, and I've been to conferences all over. I've been to some amazing conferences, and he has a workshop that he does called Respect My Hustle. That is the truth about transferring those business skills from the streets into a legitimate and legal hustle. So y'all might want to have this conversation for real.
Yes, sir, most definitely.
Yeah, we'll talk offline.
Well, so if someone wants to register for the event, how do they register for the event?
We don't register. It's an open
They
event.
just show up?
They just show up. Show up. You come in. You attend a workshop. I guarantee you can walk out of whatever you want. Macy's, I have to go to Macy's today. They already donated like 3 big barrels of professional tire I have to go pick up. So I team up with Macy's, Target, Walmart. They always support me, giveaways, anything I need, like that. So I just, really my passion is, as long as we've been educated as, black people, and I can see the progress, and that's really what matters to me. So the stuff is never it's just, but I don't want to just give you the stuff. I want to inspire you.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, the stuff will be gone in a month or a year. But if you come there and be inspired, you can get out your situation. You know what I mean? Economically. Yes. Because what a lot of us have in common is, no matter, I see a lot of different colors, economic slavery is like the biggest slavery there is now. Like, that's like, if you look across the border, economic slavery is like everywhere, because no one teaching you to do for self. Like I said again, we really depend on them to do everything for us. And that's why I'm so grateful for, even though, where I come from was, a lot of crazy, but I'm really grateful for that, because I have a different mentality. I don't go and say, I want to do this. I either do it. I don't go and say I need a job. No, I'm going to create my own job for me, legally so. You know what I mean? So it's like, we just move different. And when I come out here and see people, it's just like, what? It's just crazy to me. So it's just want me to really inspire them and show them that they can really do it and have a good life.
That's what's up. Well, there are always great divine appointments on this show. And as you're talking, I'm thinking about George Oakman and his organization. And yes. Yeah, and so, we always say that people show up here on the same day for a purpose, because there are partnerships that are supposed to take place. And so I know you brothers need to talk.
Yes, ma'am.
Get some of his folk in the building. to get some of those classes and some of those giveaways. How can we support you? How can this community support you in your efforts?
Just get people to come out to the event, most definitely. This is what I work on all year round. This is what I do. So it's just about getting people there. If you have, like I said, a talent where you can speak and inspire, come there. It's 3 hours from 12 to 3 at the Adult Recreation Center. It's just an open event. Come, if you, like I said, if you're a leader in the community, just come out and support. You can do a workshop or a class, just come out and teach. It's just about, really us progress. And that's really what I really want. Like, I want my life, not just my work. I want someone see the way I live and be inspired by that. So it's just why I'm keep working, because I don't want to say this is necessary what I do. I want just my lifestyle to just automatically say what I do and what I represent. And that's like my goal.
To be 26 years old and to be in this mindset and on this path.
But it shows what stock he come from.
Yes.
Right. It's all programming.
Yes.
Right. I'm saying you'll take another 26-year-old who didn't grow up in the type of environment that he grew up in, and they got a whole different mindset. Mm-hmm. So it's programming. Absolutely.
Anything else, guys? Any questions?
Nah, great, man. I look forward to the event. And we, every time we come on the Boss Show, we always make good connections. So I'm happy to have you here. We definitely connect.
Yeah, we can get some of these boss builder guys out there to share their expertise with your people. All right. If someone was watching, they want to connect with you personally, how can they get it with you on social media or online?
Social media is on my Facebook page. You can like it. Is Health Interests, Rights and Needs Program. Our website, you can visit www.hrnentrepreneurship.com. And it's got all information about different things we do, the different things we have done in the past, just, great information about entrepreneurship.
I love it. Again, like I said, when I heard you always hearing about giveaways of different sorts, but to come and get information and then to get the actual things that you're going to need to go into the meetings. You know what I'm saying? The technology you're going to need to be able to progress your business. I commend you, for taking a stand. More young people need to hear what you're doing and recognize that it doesn't matter how old you are. You can make a difference in this community, and we need you.
Yes,
all right?
ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, we're going to take a quick break. I want you to hang around because we're going to bring all the guys back at the end, and we're going to talk about what it means to be a servant leader.
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
All right. When we come back, we have Minister Dorsey Hammond here. I can't wait for you guys to meet him. You're live with Regina Sunshine and the Boss guys here on the Living Like a Boss show.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Download the app on Google Play, Instinct Radio, or go to instinctradio.net. And now, back to the hottest sounds around. Instinct Radio.
Hi, it's your girl Regina Sunshine, bringing you the Regina Sunshine Show, my version of midday motivation, helping you get a Regina Sunshine state of mind. Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine with the Living Like a Boss Men Show, where we discuss business, occupation, service, and significance, giving our men a place to have a barbershop conversation with a purpose.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
All right, you guys, you're back live on the air with Regina Sunshine and the Boss Men here on the Living Like a Boss show. This is our Servant Leadership Edition. And our next guest for the day is Minister Dorsey Hammond. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
I like to mention how I met someone, and I attend Enlightened Christian Center, and you are our worship leader. And I have to say this because I think I sent you a message on Facebook afterwards. But to see you worship, to see you play that keyboard and invite us into your personal space is a beautiful thing. And it's always awesome to see men of character and great men leading in that regard. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
You know, I asked you, and I didn't think you were going to say yes. So I think you kind of like, why she want me to come on this show? What's this about? But real quick, tell everybody who you are and what you do.
My name is Dorsey Hammond, and I've been in music for now, well, actually next year, I just put like this 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah, playing the piano, and started off at the age of 7. And so, father, 15-year-old son, that's my buddy, and that's my son, you know. I don't want to say it's my life, but I pour so much into him so that he can become, you know, the better man that I am. So, you know, that's my main thing, one of my main focuses right now. But yes, I'm at Atlantic Christian Center with Pastor Bell.
Pastor Bryant Bell.
He's the pastor there. So, and I've been in the ministry for a while. I started with Dr. B.O.S.S for several years. I think that's the majority of my time. experienced minister in music, and one of the joys that I take is leading people in the presence of God. You know, whatever may be going on in your life, you can come to church knowing that when you walk into the atmosphere, you can leave out different.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing, that seeing people's lives change. I can really tell when someone's going through something and they just walk in the church, and whether it may be a marital issue or a family issue or a job issue, whatever the case may be. And next thing you know, when they hear the music, they get the word, their life has changed. So that's a great joy.
Well, the great thing is that music is one of those things that's universal. And beyond that, you're such a beautiful spirit. You're such a positive, warm, you know what I'm saying? You see what I mean? And you're the kind of person that when you walk in, you hug everybody, and your people are drawn to that. So let's talk about the music, because that was when I'm telling you, when I heard you play the keyboard, I was like, yeah, we got to have him on the show. And I didn't know all your background until you sent the bio, because you've been all over the world with music. And so at 7, how did you discover it? Was it mama or grandmama, or did you figure out for yourself that you had a gift?
You know, back in the day, your grandmama had a piano in the house, and so I would just pick up things by ear. And my parents were like, "Well, no, you know, let's go ahead and give them some piano lessons." I have 2 sisters, and they play as well. They don't play anymore, but I started playing by ear, and I'm glad my dad beat the snot out of me. I did not want to play the piano. My focus was basketball, and that was my main thing, and he threatened me. You know, back in the day, you know, whenever your parents told you to do something, and they just, no, you're going to do it. You didn't give them any back talk, and I tried that, and it didn't.
It didn't go well for you, did it? Okay.
So, you know, went to college at Clark, you know, for a couple of years, and traveled with Clark Atlanta University Jazz Orchestra under the rest of James Patterson. So, it's awesome times. Awesome times.
Well, you know, I wait till Jack comes back. I had to ask Jack a question when we were on air, so he can answer it. But what do you love best about music? Because, I mean, first of all, I have to say, your personal experience, we just happen to get to enjoy it, but I can tell you love music.
What I love about music is it's a language that even you just remove the lyrics. Just remove the lyrics. And just sitting down at the piano and just piercing someone's heart. Just piercing someone's heart. And just seeing their life change. They don't know that they're encountering the presence of God. I don't even, you know, say, well, I'm a Christian musician, I'm doing it. No. Just play. And I just choose to let God speak for me and let my life be the example. So that when you see me, oh, okay, something about this brother. Oh, something about this music. Yeah. It's the presence of God. You didn't even know it. And so, like I say, you know, I love the music that if you have a hard day at work, you know, like if you're on the road or something, whatever you all be doing, you know, I've been hearing your testimony over there while I was sitting down. It's like, wow.
Okay. Yeah. All right, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
They was hearing it with the other mics.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. That's it. There it is, man. It's a copy that on everything. But, no, just, if you're having a hard day's work, and put some music on and just get in a place to where you can meditate. It doesn't even have to be Christian based, but just, man, I just need some peace and quiet so that I can get my thoughts together. And also, even if God speaks to you, you know, you can get whatever ideas that you need because of your atmosphere. I'm big on atmosphere. I can't stand being in a net. Appreciate it. I can't stand being in a negative atmosphere. It's not healthy. It weighs you down. And so when I just play before the Lord, I just enjoy just changing the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, I have to say this because, like I said, before you sent me this bio last night, I didn't know you had traveled so extensively with music. And Jack knows there's one musician that I want on this show more than anybody else in the world. And I just need to know, can you make that connection? Who is it, Jack? Molly Music.
Molly Music? Nah.
Yeah. You don't know Molly? Okay.
I know Canton Jones, can get in touch
you can get Molly, I've been trying for how long? 3 years to get that is like my all-time favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, he's from Georgia, too.
Is he?
You know him?
Savannah.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that. You know him?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know people that know him.
Okay, right.
I have to ask. I just have to ask because that is like my dream guest.
Okay,
Okay,
you want to meet him?
I do.
Okay.
All right. I went to his concert. He was here a couple of weeks ago, and I was, all the kids were down front, and I was down with them, screaming like I was 12. I really was. I really was.
Yeah, he put on a great show too.
He does. He's amazing. All right, so we'll leave that alone. Keyboard. Like I said, the first time I saw you, and you said that you had stopped playing.
Yeah.
Why did you stop playing?
Hurt. These past 2 years, it's horrible. Lost job, family, divorce and all of that. And so it was a place where I've never been in that place. That place to where it's like, I don't know what else to do. Starting all over. And so you're just in that room. Okay, God, I don't want to even touch this anymore. And my mom was like, no, you have to go back and start, playing the piano. I said, I don't want to do it because, like I said, it was just a bunch of hurt. And I just moved away from it. I just had to disconnect from it for a while because that's all I knew growing up from 7 years old, playing and playing and playing. But once I got back into it, I think that was the time of healing. And I didn't want to play at church for a while. I don't know if you noticed when I was singing, I would be playing the piano. And so a lot of times when I just don't want to do it anymore. It was just, I just put it away.
I was there the first Sunday you played. And you said, I haven't played in a while. And I didn't know the story behind what you've been through the past 2 years. But it was a release. Yeah. You just played, and it was beautiful. And I could see that there was something taking place, and we just enjoyed being able to witness whatever. And now I know the healing was for you in that moment. And so now that you're playing again, how's it feel?
It feels good. Yeah. Getting back into production, getting into film scoring, and so maybe a couple of months ago I had an opportunity to score my first film with Open Rivers. Thank you. Yeah, Open Rivers production. Tammy Williams and Alvin Williams as a married couple, and so first time going down to Pinewood Studios, and so that was an awesome experience just to see how the actors and actresses, how they bring life to the music, how they act, and then you have to go behind them and bring life to the film. And so that's something right there that's a big dream of mine. I want to become more kingdom minded, opposed to just being within a church or the four walls, knowing that the sound that God has given me, the gift that God has given me, it can go out and reach other people. And like I said, music is a universal language. If they hear it, they know, oh man, I don't know what it is, but I feel better.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing. So yeah, I'm getting back to my production, getting back to my, woodshedding on the keys and all of that stuff, just to make sure that I stay ready. I want to be ready. That's the main thing. When opportunities come, you don't want to be getting ready. I want to be ready. Yeah. So that's the main thing. Yeah.
I know I dominated the conversation, but I just want to ask you about your the D. Hammond Music Group. Tell us about your.
Well, D. Hammond Music Group is something that it's a business that I formed because, again, I've been in ministry for so long, and it's basically a compilation of everything, or where, as a church, if you're having issues within your music department, I can go out and at least provide leadership or guidance or consultation services for the pastors, because a lot of times pastors deal with musicians. Number one, they don't know how to submit. Very talented. I was once like that, and young, hothead, thought I was the best, and so sitting up under Dr. Dollar, he taught me how to submit to authority. That's the same thing that I'm teaching my son, how to submit to authority, but at the same time, be creative. Once I've learned how to submit, I've learned that there's so much wealth and there's so much liberty in submitting to someone that's in authority, because guess what? They can lead and guide you at the same time. Once you've proven that you can submit, now they open things up to where, okay, go ahead and soar.
Yeah.
But if you are in a rebellious state, if you notice, hey, guess what? People are going to clamp down on you, and you're going to close doors and opportunities. Yeah. So that's the main thing that I will go into the ministries and help build up the young musicians so that they'll learn how to submit to their pastor, and then they'll see the freedom and liberty that they have to be able to create.
Well, you know, as you mentioned, I think about my relationship with my coach, and I think Musah's heard me tell this story before. When first of all, Lanita Mitchell Blackwell, everybody knows, you know, she's an amazing woman. And when she first started coaching me, she would tell me to do stuff, and I'd be like, nah, I won't do that. Nah, I'm not doing that either. Nah, I'm not doing that. And she said, and she stopped me. She said, Regina, who's more successful, me or you?
Yeah.
You. And you know Lanita too, right? I said, you. And she said, who's already been down the road that you're trying to get down? You. She said, doesn't it make sense to you to just listen to what I'm telling you? I said, you know what, you're right. And I told Musah everything changed when I began to submit to Lanita. Whenever I said, you know what? I believe you've been divinely sent into my life to help me succeed. And it only makes sense that I listen to what you tell me. And when I came into what I tell you, I said, whatever you tell me to do in 2017, I'm going to do. And everything blew up. Everything blew up in my life. And I was like, wow. So all this time when she was trying to help me, and I was fighting back. I was like, I was hurting myself, because sometimes God sends people into y'all very specifically because they know what you need. Mm-hmm. And if you know how to do it by yourself, you'd already be there. And so it's important that when we run up on mentors, people that we know have something that we need, that we take a moment and sit down and get your notepad out and say, all right, what we going to do? And that's what we talked about earlier, right? Everybody needing a coach. Everybody needs somebody who's already been where they've been. And it's not that somebody is lording over you. It's yielding yourself to what they know that you need. And if I hadn't done that, if I hadn't come into 2017 that way, how different would things be if I hadn't done that? So anyway, go ahead, Musah.
No, I'm just saying, so success leaves clues, and sometimes we model after people. Like some of the people who taught me real estate don't even know they taught me, because all I did was go and walk through their properties when they wasn't there. And I was like, okay, he did this, he did that, okay. And they was teaching me, right? And I also had a mentor that taught me another side of the game, but I had to surround myself in that atmosphere to say, even though I had a mentor, I was learning things from other people that my mentor didn't teach me. So it's like your story with Lanita. It's kind of weird how we listen to the people. I think sometimes we think it's going to be easier, and they giving us the real straight talk.
Yes.
Because I notice that whenever I give people the real deal, they for some reason they feel like, nah, it's not it. But if I made it sound fluffier or nicer, they'd be like, yeah, that's it. But that's garbage, right? That's garbage. Let me give you the real deal. Yes, you're going to have to read these 3 books. I mean, what else you want me to say? Can I YouTube it? Maybe you could, but I read these 3 books. So here's the 3 books, right? But, it's true. The modeling, the coaching is very much needed. I wouldn't be anywhere without it myself.
Absolutely. Anything?
Man, I just say you got to know when to lead and you got to know when to follow. You know what I'm saying? We're all leaders. We're all followers. Mm-hmm. So that's really the biggest thing that I've learned through my journeys.
Exactly.
What does it feel like to mentor or coach a young musician and then to see them go shine?
It's great. Yeah, it's great because you – let me just give you one example. A good friend of mine, he's a music director up in New York, and it's Matthew Johnson. And Matthew – probably still does it, but he would go on the road with some of Kanye West artists, and he was the music director. Straight off the road, everything, very gifted. To sit with him And he's 10 times better than I am. But to sit with him and to show him the ropes as to how things flow within the confines of a church and how to flow in a service with all of his knowledge that he already has, and to see your DNA being imparted into him and to step back, it's fulfilling. It's fulfilling because it's like, oh, that's one person. Okay, now let me go to the next person. Let me impart my wisdom. Let me impart my experience into this person, so that they'll know, hey, just like in the secular arena, you still have your pitfalls. You got to watch the women. You got to watch the temptations. I'm just being straight. You have to watch these things. This is what you do this is what you do to be successful. If you choose not to do it, okay, this is what's going to happen.
Yes.
But to see other people start off this small with a lack of confidence, and to see them now being able to stand on their own and flourish, it's fulfilling. Yeah, it's very fulfilling.
I'm glad you said what you said about it being pitfalls no matter where you go. Because, and I know this is so off the record, oh my God. My aunt is married to a pastor in Table City, North Carolina, and she talked about women sitting on the front row with their skirts hiked up.
You see it?
And I was like, for real?
You see it? Yeah. Okay. All right, praise the Lord.
I was so shocked. I know, did they get you moved? Did they get you? I was so shocked.
I mean,
preach. Man, come on, it's real.
So I think it's important that you're not only ministering to them about that, but about things that are going to affect their lives. Because you can be doing amazing in one arena and have something come in and totally get you off track.
Would derail you in a second.
In a heartbeat. And I think it's important that men have those conversations with each other. Yeah, for real, for real. Especially when you see, and man, I got to say this because somebody needs to hear it. When you see a dude, one of your friends, and there's a woman that's hanging around a lot extra, and it ain't his wife, you got to be the one to say, man, be careful. Something's up. Be careful. And I got that from my ex. He said that about a friend of ours whenever, it wasn't a friend, it was somebody we knew that had a situation that ended his marriage. And he asked me, he said, where was his friends at? He said, where were the guy that loved him enough to say, man, you're going to mess up your whole household. And he was like, you got to be man enough to tell your friends the truth. You know, I love you enough that I'm going to save you from what you're going to regret 5 years from now because of just short-term situations. So anyway, we talk about accountability here a lot. And I think it takes a lot of courage for a man to go to his friend and say, you know what, I'm going to tell you, you ain't going to like what I'm going to say, but I'm going to try and save you from what could destroy your entire life.
You know, just to piggyback off what I said, and this relates to exactly what you're saying, it's like some men of power surround themselves with yes men. Right? So they don't want another brother either equally as strong or somebody that's good for them. They surround themselves with yes men because the yes man is going to say, oh yeah, whatever, Joe, that one is great. This is great. This is a great idea. You should have some more drink or you should have some more smoke. And, you know, they just, and then the people that's true to them, they reject because they're not yes men. Right?
Yes. Well, I can say one of the blessings about being the part of the body of believers at Enlightened Christian Center is our pastor is a man's man. Yeah. He is really hard on the men. He expects a lot in terms of leadership and being good to. I love that about him because you don't always see that in leadership. But he talks to you guys a lot about being good to your wives, being great fathers, being leaders in your home, being entrepreneurs. I mean, being really strong, successful men. What has it meant for you to get to know Pastor Bryant Bell?
Pastor Bell came into my life at a key moment. And he walked me through everything that I've been going through. And a lot of the things he told me, I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to do it because it's like he took a knife and dug deeper into the wound. And I had to face reality. I had to face some of the things that I didn't want to deal with personally. But one thing I really do appreciate is he was like, look, everybody get a second chance. I don't want to hear anything about the past. You get a second chance. Come on, let's go. Look at everything, what has happened, and learn from it. Now, let's apply the Word of God, and not just the Word of God, but let's apply your daily principles to it, and then let's get the thing going. What I also love about him is the fact that I'm not only just supporting his vision, but he has an interest in my vision. That right there was, to me, that sold me. I said, oh, wow.
I grabbed the wrong book.
You know, you want, and I was shocked. I was like, oh, wow. You want to take some interest in what God has given me and then to show me how to birth it. Since I've been at Enlighten, I've seen so much favor.
Oh, yeah.
Come in contact with so many people, and so many people at the church that they're entrepreneurs.
Yes, large entrepreneurs.
Yes, and to me, that's one of the main things that I really enjoy about.
Because he pushes it.
Yeah.
He's like, go out. And in fact, I brought the wrong book, but you know, for those who have seen my books, I always have book sponsors. He sponsored the last book.
Wow.
So he supports your efforts,
Yeah.
and yes, he does get in your behind.
Yeah, he
I remember not having been there long, and he was like, I need to have a meeting with you about your businesses. All right. And so I went and met with him and Pastor Lysandra, and I thought it was going to be about business, and it was about me and making sure I was in order and I was doing the right things. He said, all right, because if you in order, he said, then the businesses are going to flourish.
Yes.
And I was like, I love that, because how many people take that time to really be concerned about you and your family and making sure, and he expects, excellence is expected. You're expected to succeed. You're expected to do great things. And so I leave out of there with this feeling, I got to go out and change the world. I got to go out and do great things, because that's what's expected of me. That's why I was put here. So thank you to Pastor Bell. He said one day he coming on my show. He said one day. He said, I ain't ready for TV and radio and all that stuff yet. I was like, okay. I said, but the people need to hear. And it makes a difference, like I said, because there's so much controversy in the world today about pastors and men of God and what they do and don't do. But this is a man who leads by example, that loves his wife. That openly, loves his wife and is very instrumental in making sure that marriages stay together. Exactly. And it shows you and models, this is how you love your wife. You date your wife. I take my wife out every week. You know what I'm saying? Every Friday they have day dates, right? And he shows you this is what it looks like. And so now, even if you have a young person in the church that maybe they don't have a mother and a father, they see this is how a man treats a woman. This is how he shows her love. This is how he shows her that she's the most special. Because doesn't he not treat her like she's the most special human being on the planet? And I love it. I do. So shout out to Pastor Bell for everything that you do. Well, before you go, let us know how we can reach you on social media, and if someone wants to book you. I was going to ask you to sing, but if you don't want to sing, you don't have to sing.
Let's do it this time.
You do it next time? You can bring keyboards next time?
That's what I was
All right, that sounds good. So tell them how they can reach you.
Well, Facebook, just Dorsey Hammond, and you'll see me right there. So I'm getting into the social media. I was just get the apps. I'm like, okay, whatever. But now that I'm becoming more entrepreneur minded, I'm getting more into the the social media things. So, but yeah, definitely on Facebook. You can hit me up at any time. Well,
I'm glad you said it before we end the interview, because you talked before about losing your job. And we've been having this conversation about doing for self and starting your own business. How did that experience let you know what? I don't want to be in this position again, so I got to make sure that I create something for myself.
It was crippling. It was like, oh, nope, never again. I will not allow myself to get into this place again where I'm dependent upon someone. Even though I'm at FedEx, that's just temporarily. Since then, I'm getting into with my family business, investing with my home investing and stuff. So, and then not just that, but just my music and things of that nature, and in the film. So I'm learning how to think outside of the box, take risks, educated risks. Don't be fearful of it. Don't be fearful of failing. That's the only way I know that I'll get it right.
That's right.
And then listen to people who have gone before me. I don't care what age. I'm 46, and so it's not a problem. If I connected with you, well, guess what? You've been in the game longer than I have. So let me submit and let me listen to your expertise and let me see how it could be applicable to my life and start applying it. So yeah, losing that job, that was my crutch. But now, since then, I'm seeing how God can take the small and just balloon it and just continue to prosper. So I'm doing good.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we want you to hang around for the end of the show. We'll bring everybody back, and we're going to have the conversation about servant leadership.
Okay.
All right?
Cool.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, our next guest, I can't wait for you to meet him. George Oakman is here, live at Regina Sunshine and the Boss Man on the Living Like a Boss show.
Yep.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
God loves you just the way you are. You are beautiful because you were created in love. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You have the seeds of greatness within you. You were born to live a victorious life. You are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. You are worthy of the best things in life.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuning into the very best. It's yours truly, Jazzy Fizzle. And this is Instinct Radio, man. Tune in, baby. Oh, boy.
All right, you guys, you're back live with Regina Sunshine and the Boss Men here on the Living Like a Boss show. We have our next guest for the day. Welcome to the show, George Oakman Jr. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good.
I've heard so many amazing things about you from multiple people, and this is the first time we've met, but I couldn't wait to have you on for you to share some of the work you're doing in the community. I was reached out to first by Miss Natasha Emanuel, Christopher Emanuel's mother, when they came here, and he talked about his fatherhood initiative, which we're going to be talking more about because the Boss Men are partnering with him on that fatherhood initiative. She was like, there's somebody else you got to meet, and she began to talk about you, and then Michael met you. And he was like, he said, this is the real deal. This is somebody who is doing the things that people are talking about. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you do.
I'm George Oakman, founder and CEO of People of the World Holding Hands. And a lot of people say that name is long, but I like to actually break it down. When I started thinking of an organization, I was actually in my living room. I was cleaning out my closet because I was a big shoe collector, still am. And I was actually just giving shoes away, and I was remember cleaning it out, and a name just popped in my head, and I remember getting a dry erase marker and writing it across my den mirror, People of the World Holding Hands. Not really knowing what it meant at the time, I just knew, hey, I want to do something very impactful out in the community. And once I did it, my next step was to actually, I remember picking up the phone, calling my brother Christopher Emanuel. I was like, hey, I got a name. And he was like, what is it? So I told him. He's like, man, that's nice. And so my next thing was creating a logo, kind of like when you see Nike or Walmart. If you take the words away from the logo, you still know exactly what it is. So that's where I came with the actual, if you look on here, it's the hands. And the hands are different colors because I feel that until the world unite as one, that's when we're going to start seeing all this hatred. And I guess before I even start, I definitely want to take a moment to say blessings out to Las Vegas for what just happened last night with the big shooting. So I definitely want to send a prayer out to them. And it goes back to us uniting as one. I'm a big believer, we're not each other's problems, but until we unite as one, we can be each other's solution. So with People of the World Holding Hands, that's my biggest thing. I like to go out to the streets. I was actually out yesterday alone down in the park. As I pulled up, I had about 70 meals. I see people laying all across the ground. I see young kids. I see little babies and strollers and everything, and I'm like, wow, Atlanta, we're big on building this stadium and spending all this money here in the city to do all this other stuff, but yet we have people that are literally living on the streets, and there's been nothing done about it, even to the point where they're trying to close down a homeless shelter. And
they closed it.
They did. Wow. And so when you look at things like that, you're like, wow, like, what can I do? How can I be a servant of God to actually bring change? And so I'm just one man with a dream that, believe in our homeless and try to empower them. And that's why I go back to, it's all about empowering, educating, and elevating. One, you have to empower. You have to give someone hope. You have to educate them, kind of like Brother Gregory said. You can't go out here dependent because then you become crippled or handicapped. If you go back to school, they put in the textbooks what they want us to learn. It's up to you to get out to educate and broaden your mind to actually pick up more and actually want to understand more for what it is. So for me, it's about that next piece of educating, then elevating, it's uplifting people. How do they get out here to get a job? I know some people come home from prison and they're lost after doing 20 years in prison. You don't understand, like you said, the world is constantly moving technology-wise. How do you catch them up to speed? So we have to also go back out and educate them, elevate them. So I look at things like the last biggest turnout for Black African-American voting was back in '08 with Obama. That was because it was all over BET. We educated our people. They knew exactly who to go to the polls and vote. Well, it doesn't even start with the president. It starts here in your community with your city council women and things like that if you actually want to bring change. But most people go to the polls, they only know two people. That's the two presidents. They know no one in their community. So how do you educate someone and empower them to understand how to bring change in their community? It starts with in our community, even with our homeless, and that's kind of what I stand for. So it started with feeding the homeless. It grew into educating, and it just kept growing and running to the right people. It made my vision span out more. I'm actually in MIT, which is Minister in Training right now, because my whole thing is not only being out there to save people here on this world, I want to actually introduce them to God in a different sense and actually give them hope, and then also turn it to me writing a book. So
wow. All right. So when Natasha and who was here with Christopher, because he was here on the show, and you met him. He was at
yeah,
we
met him at David Vanner's pop-up. That's where I saw him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you met Christopher. He's the one that had the story about his daughter being sold.
Yeah, sky's the limit.
Yeah. All right. And so Natasha was here, and I think you had just done like a big school thing.
Yes, we did a back to school. It was actually my first back to school event, and it goes back, like I said, to educating our kids to making sure they perform inside the classroom as well as outside the classroom. So I was only thinking maybe 500 kids would show up. Well, we had over 1,200 kids show up.
That's what's up.
We were able to bless each and every one of them, send them back to school well. And that was even, I think we may have had maybe 3 sponsors, but, through the gift of God, it was able to turn into this big, enormous thing. We had a live concert going on. We did haircuts. We did school supplies. We actually served food. We had the fun things going on the outside. Just a big thing. We even had a coupon class for our parents to learn how to save money going throughout the school year. So it's really big, and especially in our Black community, when it comes to debt and wealth, and actually understanding how to increase your expenses, and like you said, not crippling yourself and depending on someone else. So all that actually took place at this back to school event. It was phenomenal.
Isn't it interesting how one event can change everything?
Yes.
Because when Natasha was here, she talked about that event and just how it blew everybody's mind, how many people showed up. And
I definitely want to give a major shout out to my pastor, John Elmore, over at the 3D Church. It was phenomenal, and his vision and what he does is phenomenal. So he's definitely a huge thing happening out in Lithonia, Georgia with the 3D Church. It's actually the first movie theater church I've ever seen, and what he does is so phenomenal. He literally brings it to life, even church on Sundays, and he took me up on his wing, and I'm actually his intern and his resource pastor. And he's teaching me just the word of God and actually how to touch people in a different magnitude and a different way of life. Yeah. And, I'm only 28 years old. So things that I'm learning now, man, had I known when I was young, it would be, so much phenomenal. But I definitely think God does things at different points in times for a reason. And here's one of the big things.
Well, you're already well on your way at 28, the things that you're already doing. What are some of your dreams moving forward with this organization? What are some of the things that you want to do in the community?
Well, one of the biggest things, I remember when I was in the 9th grade, and I never forget it, a teacher said to me, can you remember Mr. Oakman? I was like, I was a class clown. I was very popular in school, so a class clown, I just always did something to put a smile on people's face. But she said to me, and I never forget it, she said, you can teach a man to fish and he'll eat for a lifetime, or you can give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day. And she's like, tell me what that means. And, at that time, I couldn't tell her what it means. So she told me, hey, stand outside the classroom until you're able to tell me what it means. And I remember coming back to class 3 days later, and I finally understood what it was she meant. And if you keep handing and giving, kind of like what Gregory said, you'll handicap these people so they always come back to you. They always want this. They always want that. But if you teach them, then they're able to provide on their own. And what kind of like what's going on here in this country, you can take so much from a person, and you can actually, he was just saying, he lost his job. It crippled him. But if you, in your mind, if you know how to do your own, how to provide on your own, that's something no one can ever take from you. Everything that we have here, these houses, these cars, all that's material stuff. But when that stuff actually goes away, then what do you have? But a mind is something that you can never take. And I remember listening to Steve Harvey. He said, you know, God's gift to us is the talents he put within us. Our gift to him is what we actually do with those talents. So for me, I want to continue to help people realize their talents, actually excel with their talents, and actually homeless. You go to Dubai, there's no such thing as homeless. You go to certain parts of Canada, there is no such thing as homeless because they have eliminated that. So in America, how do we do that? So that's my biggest thing, is continue to bring in groups together like myself, like-minded people, bosses, to actually help this and go on a broader scale to actually make sure our black people, our white people, anyone that wants to see a difference within their life and let them know they are somebody and they can too be a boss.
Awesome. Guys.
No, I'm just piggybacking off some of the things you said. I mean, you're right. And don't think, you know, we all have hindsight. Like, if I knew this when I was younger, but like, you on the right path already, because I'm thinking about when I was 28 and I was a loose cannon still, right? So me looking at you at 28 and me 28, completely different. You so much more above me. You know, like you said, see, one thing with America, you got like our ambition sometimes can be our downfall in this country, because somebody has the right to be as greedy as they want to be in America, right? You got companies like Google, Amazon, that's going to put a lot of people out of business, right? They're going to give jobs to some people, but now one website can do a thing that 10 factories used to do, right? So, like you said, you got some countries that kind of eliminated homelessness because they have a system where it's not maybe 100% capitalism, but the wealth is being divided or spread around maybe a little bit better than America right now, because we live in a country right now, the top 10% have 90% of the wealth, right? So that leaves the other 90% fighting for 10%. We already know those numbers don't work, right? And like you said, they closing down homeless shelters, and a lot of programs are going away. Just a little bit about, because sometimes when people when I hear things, it don't click until somebody else say it. So when you were saying that, and it reminded me of this conversation that I had with this musician. He said a lot of things changed for me when they took music out of school, right? And this is an older hip-hop head. He said, so me becoming a musician came from me not having a music class to go to and me going to the lunchroom and doing this at the lunchroom table. So that's how some earlier hip-hop came about, because Ronald Reagan got rid of some of our programs, right? But, you know, just to say that, and people are being more creative because we don't have, right? And they use that as creativity to bring out some of the creativeness and to become those entrepreneurs.
Ric Mathis.
Hey, man, I just want to salute you for what you're doing, man. And I always relate it back to the film. In the film, we're having a global discussion. Right now, these have literally turned the world into a village. You know what I'm saying? You can literally communicate with people around the world with the cell phone. So that's one of the things that we're showing. So, you know, I salute you on that. And right now it's not about race, it's about class. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, the people who control the money now want you to think that it's about race so that they can keep everybody separated and isolated. While meanwhile, they are controlling the money and manipulating everybody at the bottom. You know, in the film, we got a white guy out of Chicago named Dana Stevens. I think you know Dana, out of Chicago. Well, he, you know, he referenced the Bible, Deuteronomy, where he said, "We are the chosen people. Black people are the chosen people," and that's what he speaks to in the film. You know what I'm saying? And he gives it to you on a silver platter, like, you know, this is what it is. When you're buying things to replace your identity, you're ultimately making my family richer. That's what he says. Those are his exact words. But, you know, so I salute you on this, because this is where we are right now. You know what I'm saying? It's a global economy. It's a global society. You know what I'm saying?
And I think kind of what he's saying, I think I actually saw a video with David Banner, kind of like with the NFL. If all the African Americans withdraw for the NFL and start their own
70% of
like we have, like us as African Americans, kind of like the video you say, we own so much. We don't know our own power, because kind of like you said, we are now in a state of mind where we're work, like you said, is still a slavery in a sense. But until you get that to say, hey, I'm going to go out and do my own thing, then if every black African American thought that way, like we would own so much of America.
It goes back to unity, and that's one of the things that I
That's
do
what
like
it is.
about the B.O.S. show. That guys come here and they connect, and then it's not you over there doing that and you over there doing that. You say, no, how can we bring these entities together and work in such a way that we multiply our efforts so that we get more work done?
And that's what we have to start doing, you know. So, like I said, I salute you with the hands. You know, it's a dope logo.
Yeah.
You know, with the hands, that's what has to come. We gotta unify. You know, we've been taught division so much that, you know, it's hard for us to even trust. You know what I'm saying? So once we get over that, and like, you know, with the community that y'all built, and having trust and really, you know, creating a new identity, that's what it's all about. It's about working together. We get more done once we unify and work together.
And my slogan is bringing the world together one hand at a time, because pretty soon I will be able to do that. And like today, just connected 2 other hands, and so down the line. So by that, you know, if I go on my phone, I got 100 contacts, you got 100. That's right there, the same thing. And I think I heard him speaking earlier about some people are just greedy. For me, if I'm sitting at the table and I have $1 million in my account, the guy sitting next to me is going to be the same way. And now I just took that room increase to $2 million, because you have to be willing to share that information. Some people are getting up the ladder while you have some people pulling you down. You got to continue climbing up that ladder and being able to share that information, and then will we all be able to connect on that same level.
So do you plan on taking this global, like connecting in other countries and things like that?
Definitely. My Instagram in the last 3 months have grown over 4,000 followers, and I have a lot of people reaching out to me from all other countries. But it goes back to, you know, connecting dots, knowing people that can actually help me get out over there. We just did a drive for both of the hurricanes, and it was all about connecting. I think we connected 26 different organizations in order to make that play happen, to actually move things down to Houston or even down to Florida. So big shout out to Michael Supreme and Christopher Emmanuel. They were actually big leaders in this event as well. But I definitely gonna go global everywhere. Yeah, that's the vision.
Yeah, that's great, man. Definitely start looking global to see how you can connect those dots.
That's what's up. Well, Minister Dorsey, you going to join us on the couch? We're going to move real quick into the final part of the show, and then I'll give you a chance again at the end to let everybody know what you got going on as well. But the topic for today is servant leadership, all right, because we hear so much in this country about being a great leader, but I've always said that greatest leaders are servants. You see them truly serving their communities. So I want each of you to tell us, what does it mean to be a servant leader? And we'll start with you, Mr. Ruffman.
For me to be what it means for me to be a servant is definitely one that making a way, in a sense of doing it yourself, in a sense of not necessarily going out there against someone else to do it. Once you do it, what I come to know is once you put the effort forward, not necessarily the effort, but once you get to working, the universe, God, however you want to identify, will definitely send what you need when you need it. It's definitely just, you know, rather than getting greedy or trying to accumulate it, I really believe that whatever you need in that time, you will have it. And when you no longer need it, then it's no longer for you to have it. It's like just, you know, and when you live like that, it's a sense of peace. It's a sense of, you know, of just, you know, not worrying about this get paid, that get paid, for the sense of you live based up on day by day, in a sense of, you know, if I need it today, I'm used today. If I don't need it, I'm passing it on. To me, that's really what it means to be a servant, to just, you know, getting out and making it happen for yourself, in a sense.
Awesome. Minister Dorsey, being a servant leader, what does that mean to you?
Being a servant leader is basically, for me, it's dying to myself, putting someone else before, thinking of someone else first, and then leading by example. That's what I feel like a servant leader is. Yeah.
Awesome. George?
Servant leader to me is exactly kind of what it says. It's serving others first before yourself. So getting out in the community, whether it's homeless or anyone, making sure, taking care of someone else before you, kind of like when you go back to God with his servants. It's all about serving God. So serving someone else first and moving forward.
You know, I always say, you know, people always say somebody should do this. I said, the moment you open your mouth and say somebody should, you're the somebody that should. There's a reason you saw that need in the community. There's a reason why you see what you see when you're riding around the city. Some people ride by the same streets you're on and don't see the homeless. They don't see it because that's not a part of what their heart is or what their vision is or where they're supposed to serve. But you see that because that's where God has divinely created you to serve. So I think if we're seeing something, then that's our area of service. If we recognize that there's a need, the moment you see it, then you're supposed to serve. And that's what it means to me. Then so you serve if there ain't nobody else around, and like you said, then other people will see you leading the way, and they'll begin to serve along with you, and then things really begin to happen. Guys.
For me, the definition, I kind of reflect back on my life, and I think about all the situations I was saved from. And people that knew me from my prior life, they kind of in awe, right? So some people look up to me because they're like, oh my goodness, look at the man you turned into. So I try to serve them by saying, this is what I did to change my life around, right? So I try to give back to them. I try to give back to their kids. I try to give back just, people look up to me, and I don't even know who some of them are. So basically, we all probably have people that's looking up to us. And, it could be a neighbor that just see you go off to work and just admire your suit and say, oh, this guy's going off to work and look how he's taking care of his family. Like, things like that happen and we're not even aware of. So because I think like that, now I want to present myself well because I don't know who's watching. So those are the people that I'm serving. Even the people I don't know that's watching, I'm serving them to give them something to aspire to.
I like that, Musah. I do. Ric Mathis.
Well, like I said earlier, in order to be a leader, you have to be a follower. So I've studied metaphysics. In metaphysics, one of the principles is you only keep what you give away. And what that means is if you have a given mind state, then that's what's going to come back to you because that's the state of your mind. You have a mind state of abundance. You know what I'm saying? When you give and you serve, you're saying that the universe is infinite. You know what I'm saying? When you cling to things and you hold on to them, you're saying that the universe is finite and it's not abundant, which is totally opposite of the law of the universe. You know what I'm saying? I heard Russell Simmons say one time, if you want to become rich, you need to help others become rich. You know what I'm saying? So in life, you only keep what you give away. You only keep what you give away. So whatever you give, that's what you're going to get back in return. You know what I'm saying? It's harvest time, so you got to plant those seeds. Planting those seeds is being a servant.
Absolutely. Well, we're running out of time, but I do want to give everybody an opportunity. And one thing about B.O.S., we're always looking for practical solutions, things people can do to make a difference, not only in their lives, but in our community. So I want each of you, and whatever it is, because it's going to be different for different people. If someone's listening, they're like, I don't know where to start to serve. I don't know what to do. Give them some tips and some suggestions of where they can start serving in their community. Mike.
I would definitely say it go back to what you said. Like, it's something that if you go by the same place, like you said, and it come up and says someone need to do that. That question come up in a lot of us. So if that question come up in you, whatever that question is, just put yourself as a solution. I think if once you start there and you start and you where they draw that plan, get that going, just answering that question right there, that's the first part to start. Just if that thought or that idea come up and say, somebody need to do this, somebody need to clean this, somebody need to go help these people out, then just find a way how you can properly do that.
Awesome. Minister Dorsey.
I would say one of the first things you can start, serve your family. It's at home. Start at home, and that'll give you a good foundation once you start serving your family at home, and then you can start going out, and then you'll understand how to serve within church as well as within the community.
I love that. George?
Wow, he literally just took the words right out of my mouth. It literally starts at home. You start at home, then you go find a local church, or you just getting out there. Or if you're here in Atlanta, you can partner with people of the world holding hands. But it literally starts with home because it starts, I remember when I was younger, my mom used to give me things around the house to do. Well, that's also turned into me doing what I do today. So if you have kids at home, just show your kids the right way because we have too many young kids growing up the wrong way right now. So changing their mind state from the start and then taking them and bridging them out to the community.
Awesome. Musah?
Well, I'm going to say it starts at home too, right? But this home is within yourself. This is self-love, right? So we need to practice self-love because we have a problem with it, right? So And why do we have to work at it? It's because some people have worked at it to destroy it, right? So if we can start with self-love, it's because that's the foundation of everything. Some communities, swagger is on a zillion because they feel great. Like they feel like they deserve the Gucci and Armani, everything in life. And then some people feel like they don't deserve anything, or they happy with the crumbs that they've been given, right? So with the self-love, that's where you find your value. You know what I'm saying? So if you can start with that, and once you go out into the world, you know that you are valuable, you're not going to settle for less than what you deserve. So it starts at home.
Ric Mathis.
No doubt. Everybody keeping it at home, baby. So charity starts at home and spreads abroad. That's what my grandma used to say. That's old folks talk. But
old folks talk.
Yeah, so, it definitely starts there. Like you were saying with the self-worth, the reason why I wear this hat with power on the front is because we have the power. The power is within us. But we have to feel our worth. Like in the film, Dr. Venus says, we call that self-esteem money. Like what you feel like you're worth. If you say you're worth $10 an hour, if you say you're worth $20 an hour, we call that self-esteem money. Your self-esteem is telling you what you're worth. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it starts. You have the power. In the film, we have 7 practical principles, and you said you wanted it to be practical. So we have 7 practical principles. The first being is to simply follow your dollar. Know where you're spending your money, know how your money is coming in. David Banner in the film in that principle says he literally writes down where every dollar goes. You know what I'm saying? And ever since he said that, I've been trying to do it, but I hadn't got that discipline to do that. But that's a great principle, you know what I'm saying? To write down where every dollar goes, where your money is coming in, how it's coming in, and where your money is going out, what you're spending your money on. Just follow your dollar. That's one practical principle. Another one is to place a value on your time. Because once we spend these minutes or hours that we've been here today, we're not going to get that back. So we invested these 2 hours. So either you're going to invest 2 hours so that the world can hear what you're saying. That's how I look at it. Or you're going to, swindle the 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? Where you just, goofing off and not really doing anything. You know what I'm saying? So you have to place a value on your time. Time is your greatest commodity. You know what I'm saying? We got a set number of heartbeats on this planet. Once we reach that number, we're done. We can be in the middle of drinking a cup of coffee. Once you reach that number, you're done. So when you leave this planet, know that you have spent your time valuable. You spent your time blessing others and investing in yourself, investing in you, and actually giving back to the universe, giving back to the planet, nurturing the planet so that next generation can come back and it can be that much easier and they can be that much farther. So that's what we're talking about in the film. You got to come watch the film to get the other 5 principles. You know what I'm saying?
Just enough.
Go to thefilmblackfriday.com. You know what I'm saying? To get those principles. But
awesome. Well, I'm going to add something. I want you guys to be thinking about if there's a book you've read or something you want to share with the audience. I always like to give them something they can go and pick up, something that has blessed your life, has helped you on your journey. I want to say this. I used to, when I lived in Greenwood, South Carolina, I attended Grace Community Church, and our pastor gave us an assignment one day. He gave everybody a note card. He said, for the next week, he said, I want you to record what you see. He said, because everybody's seeing something different. He said, I want you to record what you see. He said, you're going to begin to recognize you're seeing the same stuff over and over again, and it's tied to your purpose. And so I did that, and everywhere I went, I saw hurting people. And for people who don't know, I have a women's empowerment organization. I've been in prisons. I've been in domestic violence shelters because I minister to hurt women. That's what I do. And so it made sense. Everywhere I see hurting people, I can walk into a room. It's like a spotlight over their head. Boop, she needs a hug. Boop, go talk to her. And my son, everywhere he went, on his note card, he said he saw division. Gabriel is a bridge. He's a bridger. He bridges gaps between people of all, you've met my son of all types and everything. And so that's what he saw. My sister saw banks everywhere she went. That's what she said. Because she's talking about us starting our own bank one day. And so it's interesting that if you really pay attention to what you are seeing, God is already showing you what you're supposed, it's already inside of you. You will see it. So wherever you're supposed to be serving in the community, if you just pay attention, you already know where it is. You just haven't recognized. So I challenge everybody for 1 week, write down what you're seeing over and over again, and then go and channel your energy into whatever that thing is.
That's kind of powerful because I'm always saying God's vision for us is far bigger than what we can imagine. What we visualize is so small, but if you, like you said, you continue to live it out, man, what he has for us is so phenomenal. We have not even begun to taste a taste of it.
That's right. Well, books. So go around. I want you guys, if there's a book, if there's a website, if there's a resource that has helped you on your journey, give them that, and also your social media information to close out the show.
Well, I would say Rich Dad, Poor Dad, as well as The Alchemist.
As well as The Alchemist?
Yes. Financially, Rich Dad, Poor Dad helped me with that, and just with spiritual and just giving me that, realizing that I have everything I need, have definitely been The Alchemist. My website is www.hirnentrepreneurship.com. We got a lot of resources on there, a lot of different events coming up this year and next year, so just make sure you guys check us out.
Awesome. Mr. Dorsey.
Well, he took my book. I'm actually reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
What?
Yeah, of course in the Bible, but Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And you can reach me on Facebook at Dorsey Hammond.
Awesome. George.
The book I would say is not so much the book, but the title itself, which is The Road Less Traveled by Mark Twain. That right there, the title itself just says a lot, and it actually allowed me to change myself in the way I think and shape my life in college. And I'm also reading another book for the lovers out there called The Love Dare. That book
does it not challenge you?
Man, it is phenomenal.
That book make you look at your own self. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
And that's what it is. It allows you kind of like you said, go back to fix your own self. It's not so much as what you're doing for your spouse, but it fixes you as your own self. The Bible verses in it, the daily challenges. It teaches you to self-discipline and not to blame others for your mistakes and your problems. So that book right there, man, I'm actually on day 15 right now, and man,
you're at the point now where it's getting serious, right?
I saw change in that book in the first 11 days. There was a marriage that was divorced for 27 years. After going through that book, they actually were remarried. So that book teaches you as a man. I would say for my fellow men, get that book, man, and you actually keep a daily journal. Follow me on Facebook at peopleoftheworldholdinghands.com. People of the World Holding Hands, and also George Oakman Jr., and also on Instagram at People of the World Holding Hands, and also peopleoftheworldholdinghands.com.
You're the first person that's mentioned that book in a long time. Have y'all ever heard of The Love Dare?
It is.
That book will challenge you to be better on a whole other level.
If you haven't, go get the movie. Walmart actually sells it for $9.96. Courageous. It's the Fighting the Giant, Facing the Giant.
It's Fireproof.
And Fireproof. Yeah, all three of those are actually inside there. But that, I'm telling you, it'll change you. It will change you as a whole.
Love Dare.
Love Dare. Yeah, I've thrown that book. I've thrown that book across the room. Man, I'm like, for real, because it challenge. Because it's about relationships and not always blaming the other person for what's wrong. It's asking you what you did, and it's challenging you to be different. And you always say, but they did, or they said, and the book's like, nope. Stop. No, what did you do? What did you say?
You got the power.
Yes. And so, yeah. And my sister, I remember her and her husband did the book. She did tell me, she said, girl, I threw it out the window. I had to turn around and drive back and go pick up the book from the side of the road.
And from that standpoint, I say, by me doing this book, it actually made my organization a lot better. And I say that from the empowerment that I have from my home, from the support. So it does a lot. Do it, and I promise you won't regret it. That's to anybody that's listening.
Awesome.
I'm definitely going to check that book out. Another book to challenge you is The New Earth, Eckhart Tolle, right? And that teaches you about that voice in your head, right? That ego. Before I read that book, I thought I was my ego. My ego should tell me to go out and be a stunning guy and go and buy these rims and look at my gold chain, right? That book tell you, nah, you're not your ego. The ego is who's talking to you. You're the one that's listening, right? So to put your ego in check. So that changed you also, not from, I know we got, like, Rich Dad Poor Dad is a great entrepreneur classic, but I started to get into some new age, and that's what that Eckhart Tolle did for me.
Social media.
Musah Lotallah. I got the weirdest name, but it's easy to find.
Musah Lotallah.
Everything.
All right, Ric Mathis.
I would suggest that people read the Book of Self. Now, back in the day, Erykah Badu said it best. She said, if you know yourself, then you know me very well. So, in the film, we interviewed hundreds of people. And the information that we got are the books that are not yet written. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the books that are not yet written, just simply by having conversation with people, that's really the valuable information that you get. Like shooting this film was like getting a doctorate degree, because I got a chance to sit down and talk to people like David Banner, like Dr. George Frazier, you know what I'm saying, like the billionaire Mike Roberts. All of these people, so imagine if they wrote the books that they have in their mind. You know what I'm saying? So you get to question these people about money, about life. You know what I'm saying? Mike Roberts in St. Louis said, you know, you only have a set amount of seconds in a day. I forget what the number is. I think it's like 86,400. I think that's the number. But what you do with those seconds is what determines your destiny. When you think about the moment is already gone. So you got to be ahead of the moment and know that you got to live in the now. You know what I'm saying? So those are the books that I would say, man. And, you know, my social media, everything is The Film Black Friday. Instagram, Facebook, The Film Black Friday. Twitter is The Film Black Friday. The website, everything is The Film Black Friday.
Well, you know, I said resources, and people are amazing resources. I think we have gotten from sitting at the feet, we've gotten away from sitting at the feet of our elders and truly taking those things in. And some of the best conversations of my life have been at my grandmother's kitchen table and the things she shared about her journey. So yes, other people. And for me, I want to mention, I hadn't mentioned this book in a while. It's called The House of Jesse. It was written by Perry Tuttle, his first Clemson player ever on the front of Sports Illustrated. But he wrote a book called The House of Jesse, and he talks about King David and the kind of father Jesse had to be in order to raise a king like David. And it speaks to the heart of not just fathers, but fathers and mothers about what we want to instill into the next generation, that they will rise up and truly be the kings and queens that we want them to be. So shout out, I had a chance to have a great conversation to meet with Perry Tuttle. But get the book. It's called The House of Jesse. All right? The House of
Love there. I got it.
Yes, yes. And to everybody who's listening, I leave you with parting words. And thank you, Jack, for the few minutes that we run over. We always doing the B.O.S. show. This is the first. We're ending early for a B.O.S. show, aren't we? Thank you, y'all. We're doing good. I want to give you guys what the mandate that God gave me for B.O.S. when we started this organization. And for the new people who don't know, this was not something I wanted to do. I felt out of place as a woman, even being involved in this. But I realized very quickly that I could create the space and invite amazing men into it and allow men to minister to each other. And Michael Supreme actually told me, he said, Regina, you bring the balance. He said, you help keep the egos in check by being the woman in the room.
Yes.
So I'm thankful for the opportunity to be in rooms like this with amazing men like you guys. And the mandate that God gave me from this organization to our men is this: be strong and courageous, because you will lead these people to inherit the land I swore to their ancestors to give them. Be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all the law my servant Moses gave you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left, that you may be successful wherever you go. Keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And for me, it's just a reminder to the men that in order for our community to go where it needs to go, the men are definitely going to have to unify and work together in a way that you lead our people, our community, our families to a different place. And women like me and Yannette Keith are 100% in your corner, got your back, and we are willing to walk these battlefields with you, arm in arm, and take back our families. All right? Thank you guys so much for listening. Remember this: you are a champion. You were born to win. You are more than a conqueror. You will achieve your dreams. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. You are magnificent, beautiful, and amazing men, and you are worthy of the best things in life. Make sure you guys tune in next week. I got to say this: we're having one of the best shows I've ever had here. I'm so excited. Next week's show is called The Honor Code for Women. We have a panel of women here. We have a good brother that wrote a book about women, which is interesting because he said he didn't want to write the book, but he felt like from a man's perspective to really share with women what it looks like to be honorable from a man's eyes. which is really interesting. He wrote 14 honor codes for women. And we're going to sit in this room and have a discussion. And one of them, and I'm sure you guys will like this, one of the honor codes says, never date a man who is being supported by another woman, his mother, or anybody else.
That's not a man.
That's not a man. And so we're going to have real conversations with women about what it means to be honorable from a man's point of view. So it's going to be great. Make sure you guys tune in next week, 12 to 2, and get into this discussion. If you want to call in and give your points of view on his 14 honor codes for women, I think it's going to be a chance for us to really reach some women and pulling them out of some bad decisions that they've made. And a lot of it, of course, is due to their low self-image and low self-worth. So we're going to build you up and let you know you are worthy of the best things. And a real man that really sees the best in you will rise to the level of your expectations, and the two of you will reign together. All right? You guys have a great rest of the day. Remember this. It's not over till you win. I always say that. It's not over till you win. If you hadn't won yet, that just means it's not over. And our boss logo is this. Our men need each other, and our community needs our men. You guys have a great day. Be blessed. Keep winning. Keep living like a boss.
Like a boss.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuning in to the very best. It's yours truly, Jazzy Fizzle, Fizzle, Fizzle. And this is Instinct Radio, man. Tune in, baby. Oh, boy.
Hello, it's your girl, Regina Sunshine Robinson, coming here today to talk to you about my new book, Regina Sunshine State of Mind, 7 Keys to Help You Get Your Mind Right. If you've been looking for that tool to help you in getting a positive mental attitude and not only getting it, but maintaining it, this is the book for you. You can find it on my website, reginasunshine.com, or you can also find it at amazon.com.